I send home back and he asked me close with him. I tell him call a friend and match me close with him. It's good for the headache, I'm double dosing him. Stumbling over trying to catch a peak on peak, I'm never most of them.
Jay Stylez, he's part of the Kool Keith, Black Elvis 2 tour here in Austin today. Jay Stylez, what's going on, man?
Yeah, it's good to meet you, man. Thanks for having us.
Not a problem, man. You're from the home of hip hop, man.
Yeah,
where it was birthed, man.
It's an honor. It's every day. You're more and more grateful for it as it evolves and it changes. You know, you wake up. I met Kool Herc on Fordham Road a couple years ago, just chilling. You know, I seen Slick Rick walk down Fordham. You know what I mean? That's like, you can't make this shit up. Yeah, man. I'm a lucky person. Yeah, yo. Cause the energy is there. It don't go nowhere. You know what I mean? Like it travel around and all that, and then you go outside of it, and you say, wow, this shit, the tempo that was set in the 70s. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is universal, man. You go across the world, people nod, and they don't understand what you're saying sometimes, but yeah, they get it, and they tapped in, man. It's unmistakable, the energy of hip-hop, yo.
How does that feel, man, to be able to, you know, walk around your borough, your city, mm-hmm. and really be able to touch the guys that created this art form?
Yeah, yo, it's heavy, man. It's a you understand their responsibility too, right? Like to maintain what they started. You know what I mean? And built with Keith earlier and all of that, man. He's an icon, and yo, still setting the pace. You know what I mean? Like really truly setting the pace. You know, there's content changes, intention changes, but sometimes, yo, performing is a performance-based thing. You know what I mean? Like when somebody's just putting the work forward, somebody's doing the beat, knocking out the beats, knocking out the lyrics. Yeah, the work speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? And we're in a place where it's very open-ended. Yeah, you can rap about whatever you want, you know? But do it with conviction, do it with that charisma, lead with that attitude, and like, let's transport whoever's listening for a second, for 3 minutes at a time, you know? And yo, their ability to do it is unreal. And the realest. Yeah, yo.
Now, how long have you been at this hip hop thing, man?
So I've been singing since very, very young. I've been singing since about 5 or 6 years old. I started rapping, you know, by high school. You know what I mean? Just a fun thing. It's a different kind of rhythm. It's very, you know how infectious the energy is, rhyming this and that. You know what I mean? But after high school, I started engineering. Because I have to figure out how to get. I was already playing drums, singing. I could play keys. Figuring out how to get all of that as clearly as possible into the digital space to be able to present. And so started engineering right after high school. Shout out to my mentor, Fred Ones. I started going to school for it. They weren't really moving at my pace. There was a studio around me. I went on some like posse cut shit. My man was rapping. Went, caught a verse, was rapping with way too much bass in my voice where it was comical. You know what I mean? But I got my verse out. And then learned shortly after that the studio had like this internship position available where I could kind of learn, and went to Fred Ones. And that's, from then on, it's all hip hop. Like I'm still singing, playing and stuff, but now I'm rapping, I'm recording. My first major session within a month of saying I can run a session is Just-Ice. You know what I mean? And Just-Ice is my homie to this day. We were on the road on the way, he called me while we were in the truck. That's, you already know, man, that's super OG. You know what I mean?
So
Between him and Schoolie D. You know what I mean? OGs of that gangster shit, you know what I mean?
So your first session was with...
First major session is with Just-Ice.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like Pressure, you know what I mean?
Wow.
There's other sessions that's like, yeah, he's learning, but Just is there. Now you gotta come correct. You know?
So you go from singing to engineering,
Yeah.
to rapping as
mhm.
well. What
Mhm.
what was that early, just what was that early J Styles, like the
Yeah, I'm man, just sponge, and even to this day, sponge. You know what I mean? Just absorbing, like it's never learning is never done. You're never done learning. You know what I mean? You have your skill set, of course. You develop your own character, your own kind of flavor, your unique qualities about yourself. But you have to continue to learn no matter what. So the music, the foundation of music, I could play and use all of these instruments, sing, perform. So I'm doing the engineer thing, but also like hitting the circuit, performing in New York, going to open mics, building with people. The studio itself is a hub, so I'm constantly like not only recording people, but like observing people and things that work, things that don't work, and contributing in the best way possible without interfering in the session. You know what I mean? But being at a studio is a really, really important part of learning constantly. The technical side of things, but then also like different reasons for coming to the studio. It's not always about banging out that big record. I gotta bang out a whole album. So people go to the studio for therapy, as an alternative to going to the club. You know what I mean? And that's okay. Cause they get some fly, you get some guys that feel good, they got their bread, they got their check, they go to the studio instead of the club. And they're nice. They being in New York, it's all charisma. It's almost too much charisma. But they get it in, and it's infectious, and it is all a learning, all a learning opportunity, everything, But that's it. So just engineering, performing, and just being a sponge, man. Being a sponge.
Now being a relatively new artist,
Mm-hmm.
what challenges have you faced? Trying to get in certain doors or get certain artists to work with you.
I gotta say, I'm not. The challenges is just like the day, whatever's in front of me. I'm not. If I'm not recording and out on the road, I'm constantly surrounded by music. You know what I mean? I engineer, produce, sing, rap. Like there's always something to do. I'm never bored. You know what I mean? So the challenge is that it's all fun at this point. I've been performing since I was a little kid too. I think that part of it has been inconsistent, but the music has been consistent. Where at any given time, it's like I'm either helping somebody mix their thing, I'm engineering somebody, recording somebody, producing for a thing. I produced 2 joints on this Elvis thing. I've been recording Keith for about 4 or 5 years now. You know what I mean? And that in itself, it's endless. You know what I mean? This guy on his birthday, his last birthday, he recorded 14 joints in one night. 14 verses in one night. You know what I mean? Like just the other day. And so that is yet another learning opportunity that like, yeah, man, you got to do it. If he's doing 14 verses, we got to step our game up collectively. What can I tell you? But yeah, the challenge is getting up and what we're going to knock out today and making sure to execute. That's really the challenge.
Now, you and Keith are from the Bronx, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know Keith before being able to engineer for him? Or
strangely enough, I knew Sed before I knew Keith, just working. And this is the place, this is the thing about me, and this is a generational thing. I'm kind of peeling back layers on things where I'm a studio rat, I'm a studio guy. I could make the music, no problem. I'm no good with names, I'm no good with faces. I know titles of song, I know break, you give me, I'm like, yeah, Joe Cocker. You know what I mean? Like but there's certain things where I can work on. So embarrassingly enough, and honestly enough, I knew him as Cedric for about 8 to 10 months, and I didn't put nothing together until one day I just rolled up on him, and he just so happened to, because we work at the same place, and he's playing. He must have been looking at footage or something, and it clicked in my head, Cedric, Ced G, like, and he kind of like, yeah. I'm like, I'm out of touch. And the reason that I was able to build with him further is because we worked together for a little while. But that would have been an opportunity missed. And so in that regard, I'm terrible. But I knew Sed before I knew Keith. And then we built on some music stuff. You know, I try not to like fan out and bother him and stuff like that. But told Sed about the studio I'd been working at. And of course, he knows me from work. He said, gee, he has plenty of studios available. You could probably name, he's probably rich with everybody's telling him like, yo, I got a studio set, you gotta come through. So I just say it once and I leave it alone. Months later, I see him in the spot. Fred Ones is an institution. He's the hub. I mean, we've had everybody come through there. Yo, it's cool. Easy Mo B pulls up. I know Just through engineering with Fred. You know, so Sed ends up over there, and I guess Keith as well. And I had up Sed, yo, that's the studio I was telling you about. Oh, okay, cool, no problem. So I knew Sed before I knew Keith. And what is pretty typical, the typical day at that studio is Fred is the legend. He's DJ Fred Ones. He has all these relationships. And on the one day where he can't do the session, Jay, can you come and do the session? Yeah, no problem. I come in, and more often than not, they rocking with me moving forward. Because there's, it comes from, it is Fred, that's all through Fred. That's my mentor. So I'm able to do the studio session efficiently, but also the added bonus if there's a musicality to me that like I could take it a little bit further with the song structure and production, and you know what I mean? Keith is, for those 14 verses that you do in one night, you gotta have an engineer to keep up. That's it's not easy. He gets them out. He's quick. Seriously, he'll record all of that work. If it like with no breaks or nothing like that, he does that in no time. So just keeping up, you know. But yeah, man. So that was it. You know, Keith had a session with Fred. Fred maybe had something else to do, or something else. They couldn't do it. Yo, come and do the session. And then the rest is history. You know, I've been recording him for going on 5 years. I recorded the entirety of Black Elvis 2. I mixed the entire thing. With that, you know, Dynamite, Radar Van, helped Mark Live. Mark Live came in and did the beats, hooked up the MP. That's a whole nother thing. If I was like a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, I wouldn't know how to take the line out from the MP. I'm like, no, I got you. Mark was looking around sketchy like, all right, let's see what's up. But I hooked it up, and he's like, okay, we're good. We're good to go. And so, you know, we were able to bang him out. We put him on the spot, knocked some stuff out. Ice-T pulled up, came and did some joints on the formula. Aguilar came through, did Road Dogg. Come on, these are all. It's incredible to be around, yo. I can't. It'd take a whole nother interview to just go through all of that stuff. But man, it happened. And Black Elvis, here we are, man. Austin, Texas, moving around.
Let's talk about the tour. So how did you connect with Keith to become part of the tour?
It's a little bit. It's tricky, but it's not tricky. All of the stuff we just talked about, you know, engineer, sing, do all of the stuff, and he's aware of it. Sort of respectfully, because I think this generation gets a little tricky in that I do 20 things, and that could be overwhelming, right? So I'll tell you, yo, I'm a graphic artist. I do this at One Stop Shop, and people are like, all right, so what one thing are we focusing on? And so engineering for some time, we have a rhythm now where that's not we could work really quickly. Then I'm like, oh, what's up? Yo, you get a beat. So now I've probably accrued about 15 joints with Keith, like producing for him. Then he knows that I perform. I was like, yo, you should pull up to a performance. It was me and a couple other people that he knows. I said, yo, you should definitely pull up. Performed one time in Brooklyn, one of the last hip hop joints in the Knit Factory in Brooklyn. He's like, yeah, this shit was, you know, it was dope. I got the approval, I got the, you know. And so I knew this was coming up, and I kind of was just like, yo, kind of just took my shot. Hey, what's the word, man? You know, we got great temperament, great chemistry in the workspace. You know, can we take this to another level, man? Can I open up? And he was like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. He seen how I rock, you know, and that's it. I just asked, and you know, just off the relationship, man, just working and knowing that I got keep up with everybody. You know, I don't mind. It's been like rapper boot camp. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, yeah, man, let's do it. Then recorded a joint with him. My first joint that I recorded with him a couple months ago, like to get a verse from Kool Keith. You know what I mean? He works with everybody. Like he said, he's into everything, man. So to get some vocals from him is dope. That's just something that I open up my show with. And just coming out, showing up and performing and rocking out.
Do you have a favorite location that you guys have performed at thus far, or no?
Nah, it's all been great, man. Again, on some fun shit, just like all the different people, all the faces, and all the different cultures that's into him. It's just like, yeah, I appreciate it all. You know, my favorite stop is the next stop. You know what I mean? Cause it's just we moving and grooving, man. I can't. Yeah, man, it's an incredible experience, bro. Seriously, it's an incredible experience and an honor to be running around with these guys.
So
Yeah,
what have you learned on the tour so far?
Man, just moving forward. You know, whatever the thing that you have to do, we're constantly faced with these choices and options, right? And so my thing is like, what's the decision to make to move forward? You know what I mean? To keep the momentum going in that same direction. We're trying not to lateral. You know what I mean? And staying there, because this is a moving tour. You know what I mean? So problem solving. What's going to get us to the next step? You know, we might lose a pinky on the way over, but we got to get there because the show goes on. So just that, moving from room to room, hotel, location, like, yeah, man, that's just moving forward. My whole shit was forward is the motion. And so just going into it with that and putting it into practice. You know, that, yeah, you got to move forward. Yeah, man.
If people want to hear your music, catch up with you online, where can they find you?
My website is Stylez.world. STILOS.world. And everything is on there. Projects I've done with people, other artists, producing, my personal music. There's a little bit of merch on there. There's a couple of, all of my music is there, and the links on like Spotify and SoundCloud and stuff like that. And then social, just Instagram. It's gonna lead you right back to the website, and you just see pictures before you get there. MISTER_STYLEZ. Mr._Stylez with a Z.
Hey man, I appreciate your time, Jay Stylez, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
All the best to you. Good luck on the rest of the tour, and hopefully we'll be able to do this again one day.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thanks for having us. Peace.